Okay, welcome to Bitrix Live. I'm Damien Edwards, Commercial Manager of Bitrix Partners Interface. We're based in the UK, we have offices in the US and Dubai, and we can manage all your implementation support, including customization and training, and we provide ongoing support as well. With me I've got our support manager, Andy Naylor.
Hi there, so we're here for the next hour and you can ask us any question about Bitrix within that hour and we can show you on the screen any queries or questions you may have. So if you do have any questions, just simply put them in the box on YouTube and we can answer them as we go along, or you can tweet us at Interface, or you can send us an email to live@interface.com. If you do have any questions throughout the week, we can always pick them up on the next session. So we're here every Thursday at 10 AM Eastern time, so we can answer any questions during that time. So I think some have already come in.
Okay, we've got a question. Can I create a new module myself? You can't create, depends what you mean by a new module. Let's have a look. I mean, if you're referring to the CRM, then if we go into a company record, you can, we would class the companies and contacts and deals to be separate modules. So you can't create a new company contact or deal module as such, or duplicate those as such. You can fully customize the company's module though itself. Just click into a company record, and so on the right hand side is the activity stream, so that's all your planned and historic activity. On the left hand side are your contact fields, so you can customize this information on the left hand side. If we go into, to make sure firstly you're in common view. If you do that, then any changes I make as an admin will reflect across all users. If you want to switch, then if you want to switch to my form view, you can do that. Any changes you make, other users won't see. So if you're in common view, you want to make changes to the module itself or the layout. I can move these around like this. I don't need to go into change. I can move the fields around, and I can actually select additional fields that exist. So if I've not got them all selected, I can choose from those fields. So I can move these sections around. I can rename these sections as well. Change it to that, and we can create additional sections as well down here. We've got a section here called More. I can delete that section and create a new section. So you can create, shipped with standard fields inside the CRM, you can create your own custom fields and custom sections and move, create the layout that you want to see in there. One other thing you can do is, if I go into change up here, then I can define how these fields are displayed. So just add a field in here, banking details. So let's say that field was empty. If I save that, then I don't see that field in this view, and that might be useful for some people. But if you want to see all fields, whether they're populated or empty, then you can change the settings here. Show always will show that field whether it's populated or empty. I can then hide it, because I'm in the common view. If I hide it, it'll hide it from the users. So I can see the field now, but it's saying it's empty. It allows me to then click into this field and add a value to that field and save it. And that means I don't need to click into the change button at the top. So creating a new, you can fully customize the modules really within Bitrix in terms of the fields that are displayed and where they're displayed. To create custom fields, I go into CRM and settings, and form and report settings, and then custom. Well, again, one of the things you might want to do is just change the drop downs in some of the areas of the CRM. If I go to statuses and drop downs, then things like lead statuses or industry type, you might want to change these. Some of these might not be relevant to your business, so you can change those drop down selection lists you have, and you can create, if you go to form and report, you can create custom fields inside there. So we were in the company record. Let's have a look at what custom fields we've got in the company record. We've got a couple of maps. Maps are useful because pop up with it will pop, if you put a postcode in there, it'll pop up with a map. And you can create a new field. Click on add field. Just show you quickly the sort of types of fields that you can add. So string down to sort of date, date time, attach a file, and these might be useful. Bind to user or bind to other CRM records. You can create a field that associates this record with another. Bind to selection list is that one, but that one's bind to CRM, so you can select. I'll show you that. You can choose to bind this particular record with another other modules within the CRM. Bind to user might be that you want to create a second kind of responsible person. So each record generally has a responsible person. If you need the second user to be bound or associated with that record, then you can create that. Might be that they're sort of a support person or something. You can put the description in there. So you can create custom fields. You can display those where you want to on the record itself, and you can create a common view for all users, and you can create individual users can then create their own view as well and toggle between the common view and their own view. If you're on the self-hosted, there's a bit of work involved, but you can create kind of duplicate these modules as well. But it's not a sort of standard thing to do. It requires a fair bit of development time to do that. So best thing to do is choose which module is best for your needs, and then customize that module.
Yeah, one of the questions we get quite a lot is, can we change the names of the modules? So if you, for example, didn't want deals to be called deals, instead you wanted it to be called opportunities or sales, then you can't do that on the you can't do that on the cloud product. We've actually created a module on the self-hosted that you can simply install, and you can change the language, so you can change the leads into whatever you want to, and the same with each one of these at the top as well. So you can do that on the self-hosted. So I had another question that came in just with regards to webhooks and how you can import or add elements in the CRM, for an example, from an external source. So it's quite a common question, and whether you're on the cloud or the self-hosted, this will be possible. So the first thing that you need to do with this is go to your applications menu on the left hand side. So once this loads up, the first thing that you need to do is click on the webhooks, and what we need to do is actually generate a inbound webhook, because what we're going to be doing is sending data from an external source and passing it into Bitrix, and it needs to generate a secret code for it to authenticate and pass that entry into Bitrix. So if we click on add webhook, it's going to ask us if we want to do an outbound or an inbound. So we click on inbound webhook, and then you need to select the module that you want to use this webhook with. So once this page loads up, give it a name, whatever you want. So let's just say REST API, CRM, company. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select this, the module that we want. So in this case, we want to be able to add a new company in the CRM. So if we click on save, that will then generate your book. So you can see here, this code is your secret code that allows you to authenticate into Bitrix. It says it just above there. So what you need to do now that you have this now that you have this URL, you actually need to, if we just jump to Bitrix24 REST API here, and what we can do is we can, let's just get this. So if we're wanting to add a new company as an example, so we need to go into the left hand side, we need to go to CRM. So this is all the information with regards to the REST API of Bitrix and the functions that you can use. So what we're going to do is look into companies, and you can see here all the different methods. So add is the one we're going to use in a moment, but you can delete, you can update existing records. So all you would need to do is click on company, add, and you can see here it only gives you a few examples of the fields that are inside Bitrix. There obviously is a longer list, and you can get these from again the Bitrix website. But what you would need to do is just use this call method, and you would need to append it on to the URL, the REST call URL here. And then what you would need to do is you would need to specify all the fields that you would need. So it would look something similar to, if I just click on here, and then if we click on, so you would need to write the method add, and then what you need to do is question mark fields, and then this is where you would then specify your fields. So you could say title equals, and then this would be the value that you're passing. So you could say company name, and so on and so forth. And you can add all your fields onto this particular URL. Once you pass this information, it will then add this new company. Now, when you're doing this and you're using the REST API, you're going to do it on a one-by-one, adding a company on a one-by-one basis. So this would add one company, you would need to call it again with your new data to add another company and another company. And you can do that for all. If you're looking at the CRM, we can not just look at companies, we can look at contacts, leads, and so on and so forth. Okay.
We had a question following on from last one. I cannot hide fields in the CRM. I think we looked at that really. You can hide them in two ways. You can open this page. You can hide them from, just from view if they're not populated. So I can click on hide, and that will hide that field. Or you can, there's actually just one way. So that would be it. So you would hide it. You would hide the field there, and hide the website. And if I want to bring that one back in, I can select it, website, and bring it. So the question is that I cannot hide fields, but I mean maybe I don't know. I mean you should have that access to that whether you're an admin or not.
I mean you wouldn't have that on as a non-admin on a common view.
Yeah. So we now have a documents and actions download link. I think if you're on self-hosted, you need to install this as a module. It's a new module, so you need to go into control panel and install it. If we go to documents, see what's available. Guessing there's none available in here. So if we go into add new template, we would need to upload a Word document. But it should have a sample, should have an example up here. It doesn't seem to have any examples.
If you click into load from library, and then we're in the UK.
Right.
So if we click into the UK, you can pick and choose the templates that already exist in here.
So I guess so. The thing to do is to start with the template that exists, and let's let that load. start with the templates that exist, and then you can access the additional fields here, and should give us it should allow us to see every field that exists within the CRM, standard and custom fields. So we want to use comment field, then we use this. So copy and paste that. I can copy it by clicking on there, and if I go back into my template, add new template, and I've got a template in there. Maybe it's not enabled. Let's just go into edit. Maybe we haven't got the box ticked. So it's active, and it's available to all users. Yeah, so you can download the template and prices. You just need to add into there your logo, details, maybe at the bottom or at the top here. So as I say, download that as a Word document, change the layout, re-upload it, and then you've got a template. You can create as many templates as you want, and then they'll be available in a list over here. So it might be that you have a standard sort of quote template which looks like that, or it might be that you want one which is more like a presentation, which has a cover sheet and then some descriptive text, and it brings in some of the fields available from the quote. So some of these fields can be populated and brought into sort of a more of a presentation document. So have a go at that. It's much easier now, very easy to set up.
Left hand side. For those of you that are fairly new to Bitrix, then we can now send different types of campaigns. So we can send email campaigns, SMS campaigns, messenger, and voice broadcasting. So for your SMS, you just need to make sure that you have gone to the application store. It's the same place where I went to the webhooks, but you can just search for an SMS provider and you can connect that to your Bitrix. Same with voice broadcasting. You would just need to make sure that you have the Bitrix telephony set up to be able to create that kind of campaign. So the question was, how can I bulk email my leads in the system? And it's as simple as going into segments. So for those of you that have used something like MailChimp, this is exactly the same as creating a list. But the positive advantage about using Bitrix is that this automatically is integrated with your CRM. So you can find any data in your CRM to create a mailing list to. So in the leads, you can see here we can maybe specify a particular lead source. We can bulk email our leads that are at a particular status. So if we just click on search, just because we don't have too many leads in there, and then let's just say, I don't think it's going to pick up, maybe it's not going to pick up our leads in here, I don't think. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. So it's picked up 4 emails, 4 leads with emails, 7 have got phone numbers. And the reason why it says phone number is obviously if you're using this mailing list for a voice broadcasting campaign, then you're going to need to have the phone numbers to dial. And that's the same with an SMS campaign as well. So it's as simple as that really. You can create a filtered list, give your list a name, so we can say this is Bitrix24 live, and we can then save it. And then we can use that list for one of our campaigns in here.
Okay, there's our contact details. If you need any, say we mentioned at the start, we are partners. If you need any help choosing right edition of Bitrix for your business, we can do a demo and talk to you about that. If you need implementation help, including customization, setup of workflows, training for your admins and other users, or if you need ongoing support, telephone support, we provide in Europe, US and the Middle East. Get in touch. So we've got a customer says, if a customer visits my website and enters an email or phone number into a online contact us form, can an email SMS be sent out automatically? It can be. So let's go into this demo website we have. So we've got a form set up as a widget. So it's a pop-up form. You can form on a contact us page, and you can do that. I guess we should just show you that. If you go into the CRM, then you can create any number of custom forms inside the system. So CRM forms, it's in the so menu in the CRM, and you can use any standard fields or any custom fields that you created for in a form. Let's edit this one here at the front. So, are you interested in our services? Name, last name, address, select a file. That type of form. You can bring in additional leads, so fields from these modules, whether that's the leads module or any of the modules within Bitrix. Style it up a bit. Choose who's going to be assigned to a guest. So it's going to generate. In this case, it's going to generate a lead, and it's going to be assigned to John Smith. But you can choose that. Do some styling here, or add your own CSS. Use custom CSS style sheet here, and then generates the code for you. You can embed that on your site. So that's a form where I'm showing a widget. Where's the widgets? They are in Contact Us Center, I suppose. Contact Center or Open Channels. Too sure to look in Open Channels. Website widgets. So they're slightly different. Website widget looks like this. So I'm presented with a welcome message after a period of time on the page, and in addition I can click on it, and I've got some options here to live chat, for a callback, or for a form here, back into there so you can see where they're made. Create new widget. We've got a couple here, and I'm not going to there, but you can, it's quite straightforward. Quick clicking, it's quite straightforward what you need to do to enable the bits that you want enabled. CRM form, live chat, callback, and then configure your welcome message. So in this case it shows immediately. It's quite useful for that to delay so that it shows after the page has stopped loading, but in this case it shows immediately. So that's my form, and yeah, through to our click us through to our lead. This is our lead. So this is our lead. It's captured the information we put in the form: company name, the telephone number, their contact details, their email address, and it's given us a source as well. So you're going to have a load of different sources. You've got lots of different forms and report on that. What you need to do, scheduled, this stage the responsible person is changed. So quite a lot of things are happening on this lead based on the stage that it's at. You can actually change these inside the lead itself, inside this tab. So if I go to configure automation rules, it's here where I add the email. So if I want to add another one, I'll go into communications or this one, and I'll click send email. Send email. A bit slow. There we go. So I can now add the details of my email. You can do the same with an SMS. You can bring in fields from the lead. If I want to bring in the name, if you want to, so running one day, condition source equals CRM form. So yeah, so I mean we only want to send in email to this person, so we would want to add in some sort of condition here as well, so that if leads are entered manually, they're not going to send this particular email.
I think this is quite good if you've got multiple forms. So quite a lot of people create multiple different types of web forms, and on each web form it's coming from source. So you could send, if a web form's on one particular website, you can send this email out. If a form's on another particular website, and then you can send a completely different email out. So that's really good where the
yeah, absolutely. You just need to keep on top of what you've got set up. These things are happening automatically in the background. So, in addition to being able to create automatic action, like send email and text message based on the stage. So this worked based on the fact that when we get a new lead, it always goes to the first stage by default. So it will trigger these actions by default. What we'll do generally as we progress through the lead, we'll update these stages as it progresses. We'll do that manually, but we can configure some external triggers to update the stages. So let's say we send out an email here, has some links in there which we're asking the user to click on. Should they click on those links, then we can see that as a trigger to progress this lead on further, and we can use this action here to do that. So this stage is called price list sent. It might be called something like price list read, so that we know actually they did click on that link to that price list, and so we're now at that stage. Another trigger you might want to use is an incoming email, to asking them to email back to us. We can use that, and that might then update the stage to something like qualified customer. So we'll look at the other triggers. So I think email clicked and email viewed are quite good. We looked at webhooks, so you can do all sorts of different things with a webhook. That's doing that on a lead, because we're able to generate leads from external things like someone filling out a form. You can change, I think it's in start, you can change the system to disable the leads module completely. Where is it? Yeah, let's have a look. So it's in leads. CRM automation on deals themselves. So automation is available on leads and deals separately. Looking at deals here in a slightly different view, on a Kanban view. So clicking into a deal, we've got the automation tab as well, and some automation rules and triggers set up for that deal as well. So might be that forms generate leads. So in this case, to use leads.
And actually now in the deal automation, see if it's on the yeah, it is. So you can see there, create CRM document. So you could actually automatically create one of those documents that you've created through a template that you've created. So you can do that, or you can even edit the document as well. So it's linked to the automation now. But just to say that you're not fixed with just quote and invoice templates, you can really generate your own.
Yeah, this is and this up here allows you to access business processes. So it's not wanting to confuse it, but we have automation and business processes, and business processes allow you to do a similar thing in terms of creating automated workflows. But there's some different functionality in there. I guess there's some additional functionality in the business process side. But actually there's some things you can do in automation, like the triggers, which are probably not as easy to do in a business process.
So just jump back to our contact details. You can see on the screen. Please do ask us any questions. We've only got a few left on here. So please put them in the box provided if you do have any questions about whilst you're using Bitrix. You should take this hour that we're here every Thursday just to ask us any questions. It's basically an hour of free support while it's on the screen in front of us.
Can I get Bitrix on my own URL? So this one's on our own URL here, demo.interface.com. So I think you need a professional package or self-hosted. Certainly self-hosted. Either self-hosted, to be clear, self-hosted, you don't have to host it in-house. A partner can host it for you on their data center, or you could host it on a web server. Or of course the option is to host it on a machine you own physically in your office. Either way, you would point a domain to that instance, and so it's always on your own domain. Not too sure if it describes in here own domain. Use own domain. Okay, so they're all ticked, which is.
Oh, that's for the sites and landing pages.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Custom account URL or own domain.
So it is only professional.
So only on the professional. I think we go to self-hosted. It's probably not even listed on that because, as a kind of standard, you need to host it on your own domain. So yeah, go to sign up for professional, and you can do that.
Yeah, I think if for those of you that do have a professional account, you do just need to submit a help desk ticket. So if you can just Google setting up your own domain on a professional account, and you'll find that you just need to submit a help desk ticket to Bitrix, and they will provide you with the details to point that URL to your account.
Yeah. In case they're asking about sites, can we see where we do that on sites?
Yes, certainly. So if we go into back into Bitrix, click on our sites here. So basically Bitrix sites allows you to create your own websites. You can create landing pages, or you can create multi-page websites. And if we just go into one of the sites that we've created, so if we click on configure site here, so you can see that once you set up a Bitrix site, you can have the ability to set your own site address. So if I was to click on the pencil here, you can see that it allows you to set your own domain, and all you need to do is just change some of the DNS records for that domain. So for cakeshop.interface.com, so a subdomain automation section in the CRM settings. So if we click into CRM settings, and then if we go into automation, we have this new automation here called orders. Basically what this automation rule allows you to do is it's solely focused around the online store side of Bitrix. So once you receive an order, so you can see here that the order is accepted, waiting for payment, you can actually set your own automation rules to send to the customer. So you can send whether it's HTML emails to your customer, and you can send SMS messages. And as you move your order that's been received from your online store, as you move it through the series of custom stages that you're going to have, you can trigger some automation message here. So it's a really powerful tool. It still is in beta, so it will be continually being developed as it goes along.
Yeah, and that's available on the cloud and not available in self-hosted yet, but it is coming to the self-hosted, but there is no date, but it will be here next year. But yeah, it's fully available on the cloud, but in beta. So, but I think all the functionalities there to be able to set up products and configure all the sort of usual configurations around associated products, having products and different payment gateways, a number of different payment gateways and things, all fairly straightforward, I think, to set up. So put our contact details up. If you've got any questions, We did have a question here that we didn't answer from last time. Will my system run faster if I use my own server? So if we're referring to self-hosted, I don't know if you're running slow on the cloud, but the cloud's generally pretty quick, so not normally any issues with that. But if you're using a self-hosted version, you can install a self-hosted product on any really, but there is a sort of minimum requirement that you should meet in order to get a reasonable speed. That depends on really on how many users are going to be active in the system at any one time. But we can set up Bitrix for you using our custom environment. It does run very, very so if there's a problem with what you've set up, we can reinstall it for you using our environment. Okay, don't know if we've got any more questions. So we haven't got any new questions, don't want to go over any sort of old ones, so we will just leave our contact details up there. If you've got any questions, post them there for us. If you subscribe to Bitrix YouTube channel, then you'll receive a notification when we go live. In addition, we do webinars on specific subjects once a week at 11 AM Eastern Time on a Monday, and we look at different subjects. We look at CRM, project management, we look at Bitrix sites, how that works. We look at business processes, we look at the self-hosted product, we look at so cover all the sort of main areas that would be of interest to you. You can book onto those, you don't need to book onto this, as long as you subscribe to Bitrix on YouTube. Okay, I don't think we've got any more questions, so we'll leave it there and hope to see you next time.
Okay.